Welcome back.
Today we took a little stroll through the twisty, windy roads of Reddit, and we came across a couple Am I the A-Hole stories that we think you might enjoy.
To the internet! Also subscribe, please. Am I the a-hole for not allowing my sister-in-law and her children into my house when my husband isn't home? My husband's older sister is a mom of 3, ages 9, 8, and 6. Sister-in-law allows a lot of behaviors that can be quite destructive or messy from her kids. Which is fine in her own house, but at least in mine, I don't like it. My husband has told her before she needs to make it clear that our house rules are different from hers, but she just brushed him off. These kids will kick a ball around inside. No! Breaking our possessions more than once! That's why you don't do that. We'll bounce on the furniture with shoes on and leave stains on them. Have emptied storage containers in our house on the floor and walked away with what they wanted to get, leaving the rest there. This is already making my anxiety, go like this.
These are wild children.
My husband and I have both stepped in and asked them not to, and the response we get back is, "You're not our mom or dad." I am aware this is true, but this is our home. We have put stuff up only for them to go inside and get it anyway. We said no shoes inside and they straight up said no. Get out! They have also gotten other balls when we take them away while they play with them inside. They're the very same at my in-laws' house. The oldest even told father-in-law to F off when he corrected them. So grandpa can't tell them what to do either? So I made the decision that if my husband wants to deal with all that, he can, but while I'm home without him, they are not coming in. Yes, sister-in-law attempted to come over with the kids while my husband was away for work. I told her she wasn't allowed in. I told her to speak to my husband and find out when he's home and she can visit if he allows. She was pissed. Well, it sounds like she feels a little entitled also. So, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, you know what I'm saying? My husband told her he decided not to let her in anymore either! But I'm the worst offender in her eyes. Am I the a-hole? Absolutely not. You are not the a-hole.
Not the A-Hole at all.
To the comments! Not the a-hole. This is a failure to parent on your sister-in-law's part. She's failed to teach her children manners and respect for others. You are not obligated to suffer the consequences of her inaction. Precisely. More eloquently put than I said. This post says it all. OP, not the a-hole at all. Absolute garbage parenting to those children, and some rude kitty winkles as well. I wouldn't even class it as garbage parenting. There is no parenting going on here at all. I wouldn't want these little in my house either. I wouldn't stand for any of this from my kids. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I mean, this is how kids grow up to be criminals and end up in jail. First it starts with kicking a ball around the house, then next thing you know,
one eternity later,
which eventually leads to prison, all because Tina, the sister-in-law, couldn't tell her kids how to take her shoes off at the front door. That's how life works, people.
Not the a-hole. You honestly have a right to protect your peace. If she can't respect you and your household, then you are full and within your rights to refuse access to your home. I'm glad you set boundaries. Yeah, and if for any reason these kids make it back to OP's house and pull the "you aren't my mom" crap, instantly come back with, "You're in my house and on my property, you follow my rules or you get out." Say it with a mom voice and say it with authority and all the backbone. Kids push boundaries to see how far they can go. You put up a massive roadblock to that and tell them to get to stepping back the way they came. And whatever you say, enforce it. Yep, or say, "And you're not my kid, so I have no obligation to entertain you, feed you, shelter you, or even like you," in the same voice, and point towards the door. Let sister-in-law stay inside while the kids wait for her outside like the animals they are. And kudos to the husband for having OP's back and staying in the same lane with her. I agree. United front.
Am I the a-hole for yelling at my child-free sister that the world doesn't revolve around her? My sister is one of those child-free people who is very vocal about her choices. I have 3 kids. 2, 5, and 7. Whenever we have to be around my sister at a family function, she complains constantly about my kids. She's got a history of mental instability, so everyone kind of indulges her and tells me to ignore her behavior. But it's gotten to the point where my kids hate going to any family events with my family because of her. At my mom's birthday party this week, my sister snapped at my kids because 2 of them were playing some hand clapping game and laughing, and she said they were being annoying and disruptive. They were literally just sitting next to each other in their chairs. I interrupted her and told her that the world doesn't revolve around her. We got into a huge fight where she accused me of being jealous of her lifestyle. She works a minimum wage job, lives with my parents, and has, no friends. This sounds like a winner. And said that spreading your legs and pushing out some brats doesn't make you a better person. Never said that it did, but whatever. My mom started crying. My dad told both of us to shut up and stop ruining her birthday, and my husband herded the kids out of the room. Now everyone thinks I'm the a-hole because I should know that's just the way my sister is, and I unnecessarily escalated the situation. My husband is upset mostly because I did all this in front of our kids. It wasn't my proudest moment, but I just felt like someone needed to stand up to my sister and stop allowing her to treat my kids like garbage all the time. Was I really the a-hole for yelling at her? I'm gonna rewind this back a little bit and said that spreading your legs and pushing out some brats doesn't make you a better person. I mean, I don't think that she was the a-hole for yelling at her. She was just defending her kids. Man, I think that's okay. But it's funny. Probably not the best place to do that at mom's birthday party.
Well, I mean, it sounds like the sister started it.
Oh, 100%, by yelling at the kids for sitting next to each other. Don't clap your damn hands. Yeah, I don't think that she was the a-hole for it. Let's see what the comments think, though. You're not the a-hole. I'm child-free by choice, but I would never dream of insulting kids, especially not to their mother and especially to their faces. Me deciding to not have kids is the correct choice, and your sister seems to think so. However, in my opinion, you will be the a-hole if you continue to let your sister around your kids. Kids are smart and like sponges. If they're already dreading going to family events this young, her comments will only make them feel worse and worse. Yeah, keep your kids away from the sister. She crazy. And when your parents ask why they can't see the kids, tell them that since your sister is just like that and incapable of change, you're protecting your children. And if they want to see your kids, they have to do it at your place or when your sister's not around. As their mom, you just have to be like that. LOL, found another one of those child-free people. If you go to a family event, you have to deal with all the noises the family makes, just like listening to Uncle Joe talk too loud or Aunt Margaret clap off beat for the whole song. It's part of family events. We covered the jealousy thing. It seems like there's nothing to be jealous of. It seems like the sister is insecure about her decision, projecting a bunch of emotions onto OP, and then getting mad when someone calls her out on it.
I actually kind of wish the husband backed her up a little bit more and just been like, yeah, you can't talk to them like that. And I also don't really understand, why the parents are showing favoritism towards the sister who's just like that.
Because she clearly has some kind of mental instability, so it sounds like the parents maybe put a little bit extra attention on her because they know that she's crazy.
Maybe the parents should encourage her to do a little bit of introspective work, or get her a therapist, or a psychologist, or a psychiatrist.
Or just a lot of happy.
Am I the a-hole for telling my sister that she should have gone to college if she wanted a life like mine? My sister and I are twins. We come from a culture where arranged marriages are an option, but not India. Mostly, they are blind dates set by a matchmaker, and if you are compatible, you marry. When we both graduated high school, my sister, who was valedictorian by the way, chose not to attend college. She asked for an arranged marriage since all she wanted was to be a wife and mother. Nothing wrong with that. My parents, who are a love match, tried to convince her to at least get her bachelor's. She refused. I, on the other hand, started attending an engineering college, computer engineering. A year later, she married a man that she met through the matchmaker. He was a very nice man, a teacher, and treats my sister like a queen. The thing is, he was just a freshly hired teacher. My sister went from living a double-income house with parents being both high earners, a doctor and a lawyer, to a single-income house on a teacher's salary. Well, that is quite the difference. I graduated at 23, started working as a cybersecurity personnel for a big bank. After 2 years of dating around, I too asked for an arranged marriage. My husband is a business owner, real estate developer, and he makes a lot more than I do. He also comes from money. My sister didn't like him from the get-go. She even threw a tantrum, thankfully in private, in my wedding. At your wedding?
In private, so, probably read the room, but at least it wasn't in front of everybody.
Apparently, the bride gifts he brought were tacky, more like very expensive, more than what her husband could get her. Oh. The problem is that my first child is now at the age where she will be starting preschool. We signed her up for private school. The monthly tuition is more than what her husband makes. When she heard this, she just exploded. She was ranting about how it's not fair that our kids will not have equal opportunities, how the only reason I could live like I do was that my parents chose a better husband for me. I became angry for how she treats me, how unfair she was to her husband and my parents, so I laid the truth on her. I told her I got matched with a better husband because I am a college-educated woman with a respectable job, and that the wealthy men using matchmakers don't want 19-years-old high school graduates. Their standards are higher. I told her that her husband is a wonderful man who loves her, but if all she wanted was a wealthy man, she should have gone to college. Now she is NC with me. What does that mean? Not communicating? She says that I am an elitist a-hole. So am I the a-hole? I mean, it wasn't very nice to say that, but it is very honest. But she did choose not to go to college. So let's see what people had to say about this. To the comments! Not the a-hole. She's jealous/envious of your life because you decided to go through college and became successful. Also, how horrible she is to be talking about someone she presumably loves. Oh, that's such a good point. You're like, oh, he's not as good as your husband. I want a different one. Sounds like she was only marrying for money, not for love.
Nah, that didn't happen, did it?
You told her point blank what it is. If she wanted a wealthy husband, she should have went to college. Her decisions/choices are the reason why her life is the way it is. Also, it's her fault that her children won't have the same opportunities as your. Oh, and the comment under here is exactly what you were saying. She was only marrying for money, and she married someone with not a lot of money, apparently. Not the a-hole. She's so jelly, you could call her Smuckers. She's clearly envious of you, but you clearly like to throw in extra details to make sure people know how great you are. I can already tell when you talk about your life with her, you are giving her the business and making sure she knows how much better things are turning out for you in every condescending way. Oh, sister, if you had just been like me and done this and that, she probably should just go NC with you for her own mental health. The community's already voted on this one, and they've deemed this person not the a-hole.
I would disagree. I'd say they're both a-holes. Both of these people sound like absolutely horrible people that I would not want to be anywhere near.
She sounds super jealous, but you didn't have to rub it in. Some things are better left unsaid.
Alright guys, those are some of our favorite Am I the A-hole stories that we found on the internet today.
A lot of family drama in this one.
Just remember, you can pick your nose and you can pick your friends, but you can't always pick your family.
If you have a favorite Am I the A-hole story, please send it to us. I want to read them because I love them.